Lesson 5, Unit 6, creating line plots. So today we went from interpreting line plots and solving story problems to actually creating it. So our new skill is I can create a line plot with both whole and fractional values. In order to be able to do that today, kids are going to ask themselves a sequence of questions that are actually on the front page, so I'm not sure I flipped. What are my least and greatest measurements? And how do I know what the range is? So we're actually going to convert that slightly. What is my least and greatest measurement? So then, what are my whole values for my scale? Question mark. Then 2, I actually really like the 4th grade ones better. Hold on. When 4th grade was making their line plots, their questioning sequence was stronger than this one. So they asked, here we go. So they asked first, what's my range? The smallest number to the largest number, therefore what's the whole number range? 2, to plot my data. What am I on? This is the wrong one. To plot my data, do I need equivalent fractions? We are going to actually keep both halves and fourths on this number line. But what we want to be able to do is have a child understand that this half equals this. So yeah, we're going to use this questioning sequence. What's my range? To plot my data, do I need any equivalent fractions? What does each x represent? And what should I title and label? So we have that one, we have that one, we have that one. I've included the additional one of the equivalent fractions because what we want a child to see is, this also makes no sense why this line is here. This is bad, it needs to be fixed before we go into it. But we first ask ourselves what's the least or the smallest value on here. The smallest value is 3 wholes. Then we ask ourselves what's the largest value on here. Our largest value is 4 1/2. I'll put smallest, largest. So I know that my smallest value is 3. My largest value is not 4 1/2. It's the next whole after that, 5 wholes. Then I'm gonna I'm gonna mark where those are. And then I'm gonna partition into fourths because I know I'm working with fourths. So this is 3 1/4, 3 2/4, 3 3/4. Partition, 4 1/4, 4 2/4, 4 3/4. This is just like a ruler. And then I'm going to go through and start to mark with X's. This doesn't make sense. See, there's no room for this. This one right here. This one right here. This one right here. And the tricky thing is when they get to this half, they need to recognize 1/2 equals 2/4. So 3 2/4 goes right here. That's the only equivalent fraction component. So again, what's my range, smallest to largest? To plot my data, do I need equivalent fractions? What does each x represent? And what should I title and label?